Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Harebrained Games. Welcome to a new year with new games and new galore. People always ask me what my New Year's resolution is, and I always say, given my poor eyesight, it's always 1280 by 1024. Let's get to the news. All right, we're looking at Fury of Dracula making a digital debut. This is something out of the blue. I have, I believe, the second edition of Fury of Dracula, which is a great game, but not a solo game, and not a game I would want to play with less than 3 or 4 players. It is coming to digital, but we don't have any more details than that. But I am excited about it. I do know the company that's doing it has been doing other pretty solidly done games, and so looking forward to that. CMON has decided to give us a little teaser about Marvel United coming to Kickstarter. Again, almost no information about it. It appears to be an Arcadia Quest with Marvel themes. We'll wait and see. And then the designers of collaboration between Anachrony and Teotihuacan have decided to come up with Takanu? Somebody tell me. It's an Obelisk of the Sun game. Now, it works by taking the sun's rotation over time, similar to photosynthesis a bit, and then determines the potency of actions in various parts of the board based on that. Given the pedigree of the two designers, unless something goes terribly awry, it's a surefire buy from me. So, with that, simple enough, let's get to my question of the week. All right, what are we looking at for a question today? Tim, what are some big games you're anticipating in 2020? Or more likely, what game are you going to want in 2020? What should we be looking for, etc., etc.? Well, there are 3. I've limited it to 3, even though there's probably hundreds that I'm looking at with interest and keen expectation. But the ones that I'm like, this I'm really hoping for, or ones that are just curious enough to be explored is Mr. President is a game that has been in design for years. Now, this is not to be taken as a game about a given president. It is not related to any president at all. It is about the office of the presidency and executing that office with a bunch of interesting stimuli. It's done by GMT Games. In matter of fact, it's done by the head of GMT Games, who I believe has handed it off to another designer to finish so that they can focus on it. But that intrigues me to no end. The other thing I'm looking for is Friedman Freeze is doing Fast Sloths, which looks like it could be sort of another breakout game of his. I have, in the last few games he's done, not been incredibly impressed. I think the low point was Futuropia, which, meh. But this one appears interesting. I love that he always goes out of the box, even if everything's a green box, and tries to give it a shot. So, and the other one I'm looking forward to is a Kickstarter that this sort of like rags to riches success story. This like, I love the plucky underdog kind of thing, and it's 303 Squadron, which is a game about a Polish squadron that fought for the Allies in World War II. It was it squeaked by its Kickstarter goals. It was one of the ones that started off, had a few bump of people kind of flatline for a while, which almost any other Kickstarter I've seen last year was like throwing up their hands and hands in the towel. These guys work relentlessly to provide content, updates, get the word out, get the message out, answer questions, do videos, whatever it took. And sure enough, like 2 days before the Kickstarter ended, boom, they hit their goal. So it is doable. I've heard a lot of anecdotal evidence to the contrary, but in this case, these guys did it. They worked their butts off, and they got this, what looks to be a really cool game, out and ready to go. So those are the 3 that I'm looking for, but hey, I'm just one man. I'm a little cork bobbing on a big, big sea. What are your guys looking for? Is there anything that I might not know about that you guys are like, you should check this out? It's coming my way. So let me know. And with that, let's get to my 3 games. Okay. Game number 1 is Top Gun. There you go. That's the extent of my vocal skills. Top Gun is from the makers of other games like Horrified, etc. That by Prospero Halls, I think the group. But it is way cool, Junior. This is kind of Top Gun game. It's split off into two pieces. I think I've actually even yammered about that earlier, but it popped up in the mail. I've had a chance to check it out. I will probably be doing a review of it. How do I know I'm doing a review of it? Because I've already done half the video. But give that a whirl and look ahead. Monster Hands. This is a game. Sometimes at Christmas you get this thing like, hey, somebody should check out this game. It's on this website for cheap, and it's like $20. I'm reading through it going, this is a pretty meaty game. It's a dice placement game, but it looks like it has a lot of things that don't fall into the pitfalls of sort of just randomness or maybe just mundane. Sometimes I think, I'm waxing poetic, but it's waxing whatever, but sometimes I think dice placement games make me feel like I'm just putting dice into an accumulator, and then they sort of give this sort of overall theme. This one really does feel like that, like, oh, you're going to go after the monster. Well, these 3 dice are enough, so you beat the monster. This looks different. It does look different, so I'm looking forward to trying it out. Finally, literally, Ares had a sale of Galaxy Defenders, and this and its other expansion were like $10. $10, something like that, $10-15. I'm like, holy cow, this is a whole campaign series. Now, I played a couple of the missions of the original, but I sort of petered off on it a little bit because, well, 10,000 other games are waiting. But now that I've got the whole thing, and it's a start-to-finish saga, and it really does tell a story, and there is leveling up, and your crew gets better. Definitely was glad to pick $15. I mean, I had this on my Christmas list back when it was like $55. So, steal of a deal, vestiges of Christmas past, moving on. Let's get to Alphabet Soup. All right, Alphabet Soup, we're at K. Once again, K is not a very capable set of games. I have a smidge of them, but when we get into L's, that's when I'm going to have to start paring it down, because there's a lot of games that start with L. What the L do I know? All right, top of the line game, and once again, remember, there's a dearth of games, so this isn't necessarily, there could be other games I don't own that deserve this pedigree better, is King of Tokyo. I still love it. I think it hit the spot. I think it's a premier game that does everything right for being the Yahtzee++ kind of game. People love the monsters. It's simple enough. The economy isn't necessarily great. Sometimes you buy this, but the cards are way out of left field. But it's King of Tokyo, which makes you feel like you're really smashing people. You're trying to hold off everybody. How long do you stay on King of the Hill, etc. It just does the job. So I gotta call it top of the line for my games that start with the letter K. Bottom of the barrel, Killshot. This is a game by DVG Games, which I have tons of their games, and I enjoy them all. I think they put a lot of time and effort and energy. I think they're really classy guys. This one just did not do it for me. Now, a lot of people are offended by the theme, which is basically you're targeting and taking out terrorists around the world. As usual, the timing is impeccable. In this case, though, it's the game that offends me most, because it really is, it's a game where you're escalating a set of cards from 1 to 9. Everyone has different cards. There's some things like, oh, I'm out of cards, or, reloading, or you've got to say some things, and so it turns it into this sort of party-like thing. The problem is it falls flat on every single cylinder. It's a cracked block of a game, because, the showstopper was, oh, I've got 9, and if I put down a 9, someone puts down a 10, and they get the kill shot. Well, then why would I ever put down a 9? Unless I was trying to put down a 9, then put down a, I don't know. It tanked. It sucked. So that one's bottom of the barrel. No contest. Not even close. The came out of nowhere game is Kepler 3042. This is a game that was a 4X game without an X. So it's 4X minus 1X. And does everything but the actual extermination kind of thing. Well, extermination kind of thing. I didn't think that was possible, because I always like 4 X's in my games that are space strategy, but in this case it worked, and it worked well, and the designer went on to make some other really cool things too, so hey, points were due. Riches to Rags, Kingdom Builder, coming off a Dominion high, where Dominion had just been played hundreds of times. Kingdom Builder was the next game from Donald Vaccine Rowe. It was okay. It was an okay game, a little quirky, so simple that it was deceptively uh, impressed or perceived as simplistic, and it was. But I ended up buying all the expansions for it and all that, and it's sort of it's a puzzle matching, sort of a puzzle collecting kind of thing and stuff. But after we hit a spot where we're like, it's okay. And okay games are just not on the cut anymore. So not a bad game. I mean, if you find it inexpensively, why not? What the heck? It's fun. It's pretty sedate, but definitely never going to achieve Kingdom or Dominion level accolades, at least in my home. Meaty Mighty Manwich game has to be Kanban. Now I got the driver's edition, but it is not the most complex of Vital Lacerda's games, but it is definitely one of the meatiest ones for me to learn that starts with the letter K. Really good game, lots of pieces, but then again, it's a car, building cars and stuff, so there's kind of a nice theme to it that meshes, and good solo, or no, not good solo, but good solo variants. I don't believe it actually, and it doesn't come with a variant in it. Test of Time. I got to go back to King of Tokyo. We bring it out, we play it all the time. King of New York was one that I bought going, this is sweet. This takes it and makes it a gamer's game, and yet it doesn't come out as often because people were like, yeah, King of Tokyo's fine. Let's just play that. For some reason, King of New York, despite being what I consider a better game academically, does not get nearly the same, is not considered the same as awesome of a game for the popular vote. The other one is King Me, which is a game that I think it's called King Up now or whatever, but I would bring this game, and it's so easy to teach, and it's so cutthroat, but people don't see, even people who are normally passive and mild-mannered kind of like this idea that, like, hey, let's chop your head off so I can be king. Very crazy ladder game. So Comeback Tour. I would love to see Kingsburg redone. Now, we've had Kingsburg the dice game, but then we have Kingsburg, Cthulhu Kingsburg. I would not play Kingsburg without the expansion to Forge a Realm, but I think that I would love to see Kingsburg redone with the same attention to sort of using your dice to build and upgrade your abilities in the kingdom. And then I would like to see something a little more, a little better for the combat when you're attacked. I actually thought that was kind of the weak spot. That was more of an accumulator. Like, do you have enough to beat them or not? Well, maybe I'll risk it this time. Ooh, ouch, I didn't. I got burned. I would like to see something a little bit more cerebral. In the same way that you're upgrading your town, I'd like to see something that gives you a little more meat and a little more visceral feel to the actual attack phase, which I think can be done now. I think people have done enough dungeon defenders or defense tower games that I think someone could come up with a very interesting way to do that for Kingsburg. Honorable mentions, theme, Killer Bunnies and the Quest for the Magic Carrot. Probably, if you didn't know about it, you probably would be like, that's curious. I still think that's got a great theme. It is the one and only game that my middle daughter would play with me for many, many months. I still think it's awesome. Fair enough. Artwork, I could go any number of ways, but kittens in a blender, because, I don't like kittens. But I do like blenders. Anyway, that's all we got this time. Look forward to a couple reviews coming up in the next week or two. I hope you guys are having a great new year and things are going well for you. So take care, and we'll see you next time on Harebrained Games.